A man is responsible for his choice and must accept the consequences, whatever they may be. W.H. Auden, A Certain World, 1970. So, we're from Group 7 and we're going to talk about fluid navigation. Chapter outline contains 8.1 Introduction, 8.2 Navigation by Selection, 8.3 Small Displays, 8.4 Content Organization, 8.5 Audio Menus, 8.6 Form Fill-in, and Dialog Boxes. 8.1 Introduction. This chapter addresses design issues related to navigation, which can be defined as enabling users to know where they are and to steer themselves to their intended destination. In short, navigation is about getting work done or having fun through a series of actions, much like sailors who steer their boat to a harbor. Navigation is key to successfully operating interactive applications such as installing a mobile app, filling in a survey, or purchasing a train ticket. That is called task navigation. It is also the key to finding information on a website or browsing social media or web navigation, and in finding the action needed in a desktop application, which is command menu navigation. Navigation harnesses users' ability to rapidly skim choices, recognize what is relevant, and select what they need to realize their intentions. Designer's goal is to enable fluid navigation that allows users to gracefully and confidently get to where they want to go, explore novel, possible routes, and backtrack when necessary. Navigation relies on passengers' knowledge of landmarks to influence their decisions as opposed to search, which requires users to explain what they seek by inputting keywords into blank search box. Well, the search box is the main technique to initiate the process of finding information in vast information spaces like the internet or digital libraries. There are three navigation workhorses: small or large menus, embedded links, or tool palettes. Users indicate their choices with a touch, tap, or swipe of the finger or by using a pointing device and get immediate feedback indicating what they have done. Navigation by selection is an interaction style that is especially effective for users who are novice or first-time users, are knowledgeable intermittent users, or need help in structuring their decision-making processes. With complex menus and rapid interaction, menu selection can be appealing to expert frequent users. Careful design, keyboard shortcuts, and gestures allow expert users to navigate quickly through large information structures. These strategies can be used in combination with command languages to help users transition smoothly from novice to expert. A loose definition of menus is used here as a representation of available choices, which can describe the rich array of techniques designers use to present choices and guide users as they select what they want. Design of checkboxes, form fill-ins, in dialog boxes is discussed in this chapter, as well as how they contribute to the experience of navigating an application or website. Arrays of checkbox data can be seen as primarily data entry techniques, but those techniques are designed to make it easier for users to interact with websites and applications. 8.2 Navigation by selection. Choices can be represented explicitly in that there is an orderly enumeration of the items with little extraneous information, or they can be embedded in text or graphics and still be selectable. The Hypertext system by Covid and Snyderman 1986 was utilized for early commercial hypertext projects and became the basis for the World Wide Web. Hotlinks was the first to popularize embedded links of web pages. Menu items were created by embedding highlighted names, places, or phrases in text that informs users and helps to clarify the meaning of the menu items. Graphical techniques are a particularly attractive way to present choices while providing context to help users specify what they want. For example, maps can orient users about the geography of the area before users select an item of interest, and calendars or timelines can inform users of availability and constraints before a date or time is selected. According to Elmquist 2011, interactive visualization of information can also help analysts navigate large amounts of data in a fluid, visual manner. The simplest case of explicit menus is a binary menu for yes or no, true or false choices. As you can see at the figure 8.1, is simple menu with two choices. A short explanation is provided. Buttons are large enough to be easy to select and have information labels, and one answer has been highlighted as the most likely answer. Another example of a simple menu is the grid menu popularized by mobile devices with a small set of icons and labels. As what figure 8.2 shows, two examples of simple menus. On the left, the Nature Citizen Science app shows the 9 functions of the main menu. On the right, the Zombies Run app lists the possible missions of Season 1 of the immersive running game and audio adventure, when users need to make a series of choices. Examples: in a survey or to select parameters of an application, there are well-established methods of presenting choices. Radio buttons support single item selection from a multiple item menu. The figure 8.3 shows 3 radio buttons constitute a menu that steers users to appropriate information in a health risk assessment website. While checkboxes allow the selection of one or more items in a menu, figure 8.4 checkboxes allow users to indicate their preferences about treatment they would like to discuss. Feedback is provided by a checkmark, and available choices can be grayed out. A multiple selection menu is a convenient method for handling multiple binary. 8.2.1 menu bars, pop-up menus, toolbars, palettes, and ribbons. Menu bars are typically found at the top of each application or both at the top and on the side of the screen. In figure 8.5, on the top menu bar of Microsoft PowerPoint, the Edit Cascading Fold-Down menu, also called Fold Right, is open, followed by the Find menu. The menus allow users to explore the functions of the application to facilitate discovery and learning. Icons and keyboard shortcuts are indicated on the right of the menu items. For example, Ctrl-C for copy or Ctrl-F for find. A small black triangle indicates that selection of the menu item will lead to a submenu. 3 dots indicate that the selection will lead to a dialog box, partially hidden behind the Edit menu. The application ribbon is visible, revealing the large number of choices available in the selected tab or format. Common items in desktop or tablet applications are File, Edit, View, Help, and menus that follow this order will seem familiar to most users. Clicking on a menu title brings up a list of related items, and users can then make a selection by moving the pointing device over the items, which respond by highlighting and clicking on the desired choice. Since positional constancy is such a strong principle, when an item is not available for selection, it is important to gray it out rather than removing it from the list. Example is copy to scrapbook. Increasing ease of creating custom widgets allows designers to create endless variants of the original menu bars, preserving readability and ensuring that users will be able to identify menus as such are important goals when creating these new designs. Many rely on multiple menu bars, placing menus at the top but also on the side and bottom of the screen or web page. When placed on the side, submenus can open in place using an accordion menu style expansion or to the side. Accordion menus work well when the submenus have few items and do not force users to scroll too far to collapse the accordion, but accordions may also increase user disorientation when the indenting scheme is unclear or the menu structure is more than 2 or 3 levels deep. Large submenus are better expanded below or to the side. Example on the figure 8.6 in the REI website. The categories for cycle are expanded all at once below the top menu, showing 34 items organized in a meaningful hierarchy as a large menu. The limited screen space of mobile device leads designers to strive to limit the number of menu items. To leave more room for content, most or all menu items can be moved into a separate screen that is accessible from a main menu icon, which is commonly referred to as the hamburger menu icon for its shape and which can be placed on every screen. In figure 8.7, the main menu of SoundHound has only 6 items, but it is still too much to be displayed on every page. So, a main menu hamburger icon appears at the top right of all appropriate pages. For example, it appears in A but not in the recording screen C, where only the X close icon is visible. The main menu B animates from the right, so most users will learn that a swipe to the left also means opens the main menu and a swipe to the right will close it. In B, part of the previous screen is still visible on the left, reinforcing the suggestion that swiping can be used. Toolbars, iconic menus, and palettes can offer many actions that users can select with a click and apply to a displayed object. A large number of toolbars can be overwhelming, so users need to be able to customize which toolbars are visible and to control the placement of those toolbars. Tool palettes such as color wheels or layers may be separated from the menus and moved so they do not hide the content. Users who wish to conserve screen space can eliminate most or all of the toolbars and palettes. Dense menus with many small icons can be overwhelming for novice users, but appreciated by experts because of their small footprint and quick access. Pop-up menus appear on the display in response to a click or tap with a pointing device. When the content of the pop-up menu depends on the cursor position, it is called a context menu. Since the pop-up menu covers a portion of the display, there is strong motivation to keep the menu text short so that it does not cover the context of the menu. Pop-up menus can be hard to discover, so alternative access may need to be provided. Pop-up menus can also be organized in a circle to form pie menus, also called marking menus. The average distance to select an item is smaller than for linear menus, and with practices users can memorize the direction of the item, which is easier with 4 to 8 items. In Figure 8.8, Fusion 360TM, an Autodesk TM 3D computer-aided design tool, allowed an engineer to design a utility knife. A click on the background of the image brings a pop-up marking menu with 8 context-dependent menu items arranged in a circle, as well as a conventional linear menu below it. Sliding the mouse to the left, the undo command, now highlighted by a pie-shaped gray background. When the click plus move is done rapidly, the menu itself doesn't appear on the screen, allowing rapid command selection via simple gestures. Ribbons were introduced by Microsoft in Office 2007. Ribbons attempt to replace menus and toolbars by 1-inch tabs, grouping commands by task. While this approach might be beneficial for new users, expert users had difficulties adapting to the reorganized menus and finding items they knew existed before, highlighting the challenge of versioning and menu reorganization in professional applications. Ribbons also reduce the screen space for the document, which is a drawback for many users. 8.2.2 Shortcuts and Gestures for Rapid Interaction. For rapid selection, keyboard shortcuts, also sometimes called hotkeys, such as Ctrl-C on PCs or Tidal-C on Macs for copy, are essential for expert users using desktop computers. Users can memorize the keystrokes for the menu items they use often and thus speed up the interaction considerably. If at all possible, shortcuts should be used consistently across applications. For example, Ctrl-S on a PC or Tidal-S on a Mac is usually used for save, and Ctrl-P or Tidal-P for print. Keyboard shortcuts should be indicated next to their corresponding menu items and in the tooltip of the menu icons. Learning shortcuts is one of the useful paths to reaching expert performance by Cockburn et al. 2014. But many users never even attempt to learn them. Using a modifier key to reveal all the available shortcuts at once was found to be helpful to increase their use by Malakraya 2013. Since typing keyboard shortcuts become impractical or impossible with touchscreen devices, other techniques are being devised for smartphones and tablets. Gestures often serve as a shortcut for rapid selection. Box 8.1 Examples of common gestures and their effects. Gestures can speed interaction and their directness is compelling, but they are hard to discover. Gestures may have different actions when applied on an object, on the background, or toward the edge of the screen, which can be frustrating when applied inadvertently. Therefore, it is important to ensure easy reversal of actions. Consistent application of gestures remains an issue. Tap, select. Long press, varied. From magnified cursor iOS to showing a tooltip Windows 8. Double tap, varied. Example, zoom in an iOS. Small swipe, varied. Example is to move location or order of objects, reveal a delete button. Large swipe, usually scroll. Rapid swipe or fling, fast scroll with inertia. Pinch and spread, zoom in and out. 30. Variation with 2 or more fingers, varied effects. Gestures, which were first popularized by the Apple iPhone, have revolutionized tablet and smartphone navigation. Still, they can be hard to discover and learn and have few or no affordances. Redundancy is recommended. In an alternate traditional way of selecting, the action may be needed instead of relying solely on gestures. Wigdor and Wexson 2011 and Zai et al. 2012 found that careful and implementation of gestures can result in seamless navigation for skilled users, but can also create annoyance when actions are triggered inadvertently. Newer approaches take advantage of the multi-touch capabilities or touchscreens. For example, a two-finger swipe to the right might be associated with the back button of a browser. Fast tap allows users to select commands by combining a thumb tap to display the menu and an index finger tap to select by Gatwan et al. 2014. As users learn the location of menu items relative to their thumb, they can select rapidly before the menu is even displayed. Allowing users to customize the gestures may help users remember them and provide better accessibility than predefined gestures, but users have limited understanding of the recognizer's ability to recognize gestures they have proposed, often leading to poorly recognized gestures. Other aspects of design contribute to rapid navigation, such as error prevention, avoiding scrolling and laying out menus on the screen such that the distance traveled to perform the most common task is minimized. 8.2.3 Long list. Sometimes the list of menu items may be longer than the 30 to 40 lines that can reasonably fit on a display. One common solution is to create a tree-structured menu. But sometimes, the desire to limit the interface to one conceptual menu is strong. For example, when users must select a state from the 50 states in the United States or a country from an extensive list of possibilities. Typical lists are alphabetically ordered, but categorical lists may be useful. The principles of menu list sequencing apply in section 8.4.2. Three parts of principles of menu list are scrolling menus, combo boxes, and fish-eye menus. Scrolling menus, combo boxes, and fish-eye menus. Scrolling menus display the first portion of the menu and an additional menu item, typically an arrow that leads to the next set of items in the menu sequence. The scrolling or paging menu might continue with dozens or thousands of items, allowing users to type the letter M to scroll directly to the first word starting with the letter M will reduce manual scrolling. But this feature is not always discovered. Similarly, typing M twice can move to the second word starting with M. Combo boxes makes the option more evident by combining a scrolling menu with a text entry field. Users can type in leading characters to scroll quickly through the list. Another alternative is the fisheye menu, which displays all of the menu items on the screen at once but shows only items near the cursor at full size. Items farther away are displayed at a smaller size. Fisheye menus have been made popular by Apple's Mac OS X and are attractive for menus of 10 to 20 items where the zoom ratio remains small and all items are readable at all times. When the number of items is such that smaller items become unreadable, fisheye menus have the potential to improve speed over scrolling menus, but hierarchical menus remain faster. Fisheye menus can be an eye-catching option but are not recommended as a default menu style for long lists. Sliders and alpha sliders. Slider is a natural choice to allow the selection of a single value. Ranges of values can also be selected with double-sided or range sliders. Users select values by using a finger or pointing device to drag the slider thumb or scroll box along the scale. When greater precision is needed, the slider thumb can be adjusted incrementally by clicking on arrows located at each end of the slider. A similar technique that allows users to select a name or category among even large numbers of ordered items is an alpha slider. Figure 8.9, an alpha slider, also called an item slider. In the Spotfire visualization tool from Tibco, the alpha slider allows users to select one item from a large number of categorical items and rapidly step through the other items. Because of their compactness, sliders, range sliders, and alpha sliders are often used in the control panels of interactive visualization systems. When results are available in real time, a sweep of the slider thumb allows rapid comparisons between the results of dozens of choices within seconds without having to even look at the slider. This would be very tedious with a standard menu that requires users to start the selection process again for each new value. Two-dimensional mega menus. Alternatively, menus that fill all the available space might be used. Two-dimensional mega menus give users a good overview of the choices, reduce the number of required actions, and allow rapid selection. The ease of scrolling on touchscreens has encouraged designers to make heavy use of scrollable two-dimensional menus, and webpage gave the 2015 awards to sites with home pages filled with bright photos and snazzy graphic interspersed with selectable objects. The top selection of the web page that is visible at first, called the top fold or above the fold, remains critical as users need the confidence that the site answers their needs before they start to scroll down. Why go farther if not impressed? But users are be supposed to potentially hundreds of selectable zones of menu items within seconds of scrolling, which remains entirely in users' control. As what you can see in the figure 8.10, the NASA website consists of a large scrollable two-dimensional menu below the main menu. Each square or rectangle is a large button. Scrolling gives access to dozens of items easily updated and rearranged. This adaptive grid design scales down nicely to be the small displays. On the right, the same page is displayed on an Android phone. The grid now appears as a single column of items.